So, Michelle, could you tell us about your eye condition?
The eye condition that I have is Stargardt's, related to macular degeneration, and that was discovered um, about year 2000. And before that, I was dealing with keratoconus, and I had a cornea transplant in the left eye in 1998 for that.
What was it like when you were first diagnosed?
It was very difficult because all of it was very sudden. I always had kind of like, I guess, normal eye problems in that I needed glasses to see the blackboard at school and things like that. And then things just were not going well. I was in my last year at university. I had one semester to go. And my vision was just, I just could not cope with the changes going on with it. And it wasn't something as simple as getting a new pair of glasses. And when they finally sort of started investigating and found the specialist for me, I will never forget, they found the specialist and he had an appointment for me and he took a look at my eyes and he said, "Oh, that's keratoconus. You are going to need to see, you know, you're going to have to start this." And he's telling me all the stuff that's going to happen. And yeah, so once that was all underway, it was helpful because it was like, okay, good, we know what we're doing. But for me personally, it was really kind of, I'd say probably devastating because everything changed. There was all this stuff that now I was thinking, can I still do this? Because I was studying to be a teacher. So can I still teach if I can't see? I knew I wouldn't be able to drive and just all these kind of different things that were going to start happening. But the support that I had, and this was back in Montreal, the support that I had was fantastic. The Montreal Association for the Blind, they were fantastic. The doctors and everybody that I dealt with at the hospital were absolutely brilliant. And having the opportunity to have a cornea transplant made all the difference. So I was able to go back, resume my studies, be able to, start getting back on track with things. And then the macular degeneration showed up, but because I knew the resources were there and I knew the help was there, it was a lot easier to kind of deal with that. Even though it was another setback, knowing the support was there made it so much easier.
Do you remember how you first came to hear of ESAB?
Just after we had moved into East Sussex, into Hailsham, I just got in touch with the folks at Southampton Eye Hospital because that's who I dealt with for most of my time when we moved to the UK. And they said, yeah, you just need to, they referred me straight to ESAB. And so I think it was about a month after we moved here, I was able to see someone from ESAB. They came to the home visit, and then I got to see a low vision person shortly after that. So everything, I would say it was a really smooth and kind of speedy transition. I didn't feel like there were kind of any gaps where I was thinking, oh no, I need to wait a long time. That never happened. I wasn't waiting for anything. There was so much available so quickly.
Yeah. What's been the biggest thing since you've been in touch with ESAB, the thing that's helped you the most?
That would be Tuesday Club. So that's a group that gets together the second Tuesday of every month in the evening. And it's a social gathering. It's a social group. We mainly eat, but that's great. That's lovely. And we have drivers who pick us up and bring us back home, which for me, I'm home with kids in the day and doing school runs and things. So to do stuff socially in the evening is very difficult because I will always need a ride. And it's usually my husband watching the kids then. So it's just that kind of thing that I guess most people take for granted, hopping in the car to go meet some friends at a restaurant. So to be able to do that and have to see people kind of, consistently and build those friendships and get to know people, that's the thing I enjoy the most. And there's always that bit where people who understand what you're going through, they just get it. And not only that, but sometimes they're just sort of like, oh, I tried these, sort of new binoculars, or I'd done this, or did you know that if you phone ahead at the train services, just all this stuff that people experience and then share with you while you're getting to know them, that I find the best bit about what ESAB's sort of been able to do for me, I think.
Mm. And what's it like with children as well, raising children with a sight condition?
It's funny because I don't always remember that I have a sight condition. There will be times where, and this has happened with my children over the years so many times, where I do not remember that they can't see what I'm seeing, or I can't see what they're seeing. So when my boys were little and we'd wait at the bus stop, they would always tell me when the bus was coming because they could see, and I'd be, really? Like, I think that's a garbage truck. I'd be like, no, it's the bus. You should probably get on it. And so I think it's because we've just set up our home, home is home, and things have been very normal for us. I think it's normal for them that Mummy doesn't see very well, but I think aside from the fact that Mummy doesn't drive, nothing's really very different. I still do the school run, I still do the cooking and the shopping and all of those things. I probably do them slightly differently than other people would, but that's our normal.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from, the first sort of few years where you just don't know what your future is going to hold. You kind of have a plan for your life, or, how you want things to go. And then all of a sudden this thing happens that's like, okay, you're not part of the plan. I want to get married, have kids, and be a teacher. So sight loss, no, I don't think that works in there. But then because you have to deal with it, you have to live with it. It wasn't something that I could ignore. It was right there in front of me, and it was affecting everything that I was doing and was going to do. And a big part of my life is also being a Christian and having an outlook that my life has a direction and has purpose. Now, I have an idea of what I want my life to look like, but it might not be the plan that God has for me. So it's kind of me going, okay, well, how do you want to do things, God? And because He provides the resources, because He opens up doors that I didn't know were there, or provides the right people at the right time, you kind of then start seeing that this isn't hopeless, that there is still a way to live a fulfilling, amazing life, even if it wasn't the way you thought it would be when you were growing up. I have met bitter people, and it doesn't appeal. Yeah. Bitter for different reasons. I've met bitter people who are upset and angry because of their sight loss, and I understand that because I have been there. But it's when people stay there, because sometimes you might think, oh, well, maybe it's recent for them or something, and you realize, no, it's not recent. It's been 10 years or something, and you just think, oh, that's a lot of time spent with that outlook. And there comes a time when you're dealing with loss, when you're dealing with broken dreams, where you're dealing with hurt. There comes a time in that where you have to make a choice. Am I going to still feed that part of it today? Or will I choose to move forward, move through, move on, look at other things in my life that are positive or just not part of that sort of awfulness? And there are people who choose to stay with it. And it's a choice. So my choice is I had to acknowledge that I didn't like what was happening with my vision, that I hated the fact that I wasn't going to be the teacher with the Nissan Pathfinder that I always wanted to be. That wasn't going to happen. But so what was going to happen? What was available? So when I thought about what I was losing, it was kind of like this much. But when I thought about possibilities of everything else, why would I want to live here when I had, all this? So it's a choice. It's always a choice.